Today, Keir Starmer really has sealed his fate to go down as the worst Prime Minister in history. Today, he has thrown both Brits and Chagosians under the bus by signing this 10 billion quid Chagos deal, arguably the worst deal in history. The Chagosians did not want this. They did not want their island to be handed over to the Mauritians, who have never, ever owned that island. And if you're not sure just how furious the Mauritians are about this, I want you to listen to every second of this clip of these Chagosians speaking on Chibi News. It will break your heart.
I'm appalled about his decision, and we clearly see that Keir Starmer don't connect with British people, less with the Chagosians. I came in this country 23 years ago as a British citizen. I joined the British Army to serve this country. And today, Keir Starmer just shattered all our hope. We are Chagosian and we are British. That he need to understand this. And one thing I learned in the British Army, we never retreat, we never surrender.
Maybe right? Keir Starmer should have spent some time in the army, because he is such a weakling.
We need to remove him from number 10 because he put shame on the UK. Right?
He does.
I'm risking my life for this country, and today this Prime Minister just treat us like, I don't know, worse than animal. And how the audacity call himself like a human rights lawyer? He works only for himself and his close friends.
Did you hear what he said? Keir Starmer and this government, they are treating them like an animal. This guy is clearly absolutely heartbroken. He's come here, he's risked his life to defend this country, and then this is what they do. It's like the ultimate stab in the back.
That's what he's doing right now. To say that if we're against what he's doing, we sided with China, with Iran. Right? So one thing I can tell you, Nigel Farage, I will happily side with him because he's looked for the interest of British people, for the Chagosians, and the fight will continue. Now, I'm telling all the British people, all the 170 Red Wall Labour who won, right? Think carefully. We're going to come down in all constituency campaigning with our flag. This flag, we got the Union Jack on it. British Union Jack. He got the crown on it. And this man just sell us like that. And sell all the United Kingdom like that. That's what he's doing right now. I implode all the UK, the British people, please. Right? We lost our country. Our country being used for your defense. For your defense. Sir, for your defense, and your Prime Minister, and even my Prime Minister as well, I'm ashamed of it. Treat us like that. He needs to do a U-turn quick as possible. We will never, never, never let this happen. I'd rather die. I just say it, I'd rather die than see my country go to Mauritius.
I don't know how to follow that.
Wow, I mean, that guy on the verge of tears there about the fact that Keir Starmer is handing away the island that he is from. You heard that last part there. He would rather die than see his country go to Mauritius. And we've seen Chagosians, absolutely furious about this, trying to have their voice heard, and Keir Starmer not listening. Keir Starmer not even bothering to meet with any of them. Okay, all he's interested in doing is listening to his mates at the ICJ. We had these brilliant ladies bringing a challenge to the High Court to try and stop this Chagos deal from coming through. And it's all been a bit messy because apparently they were given there was an injunction as a consequence of these ladies going to the court to stop the Chagos deal coming through, but then it's only lasted a few hours, and now that injunction has been dismissed. I mean, so it's all very confusing, and I'm no expert on how all these court challenges work and the exact process, but they've been unsuccessful, and these people just feel like Keir Starmer is not listening to them. And Keir Starmer, he's gone and he's done this press conference and he's answered questions, and he's been asked to justify, why are you doing this? And he says, well, because national security is my top priority as Prime Minister. I am being a strong leader by making sure that we have access to a crucial military base. And I'm like, you're missing the point here, okay? Because that military base was ours. We did have control of it. You've decided to hand it away, and then you've boasted that you secured a deal to pay to use the base that was already yours without you having to pay in the first place, because you are running the island. And I think Richard Tice, speaking in Parliament, really just highlighted how ridiculous the justification of Keir Starmer has given us is. Take a look at this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Mauritians have never, ever owned the Chagos Islands. And when they gained independence from the United Kingdom in the 1960s, the UK paid them millions of pounds to cede any future claims over the sovereignty of the Chagos Islands. The Defence Secretary has confirmed the strategic importance of the Chagos Islands. We all agree on that. But the truth is, this is the worst ever deal in history by this country. We are paying over 100 years, with inflation, over £40 billion to give away a strategically important security asset. And the truth is, Mr. Speaker, I'm confirming that when Reform win the next general election, we will rip up this deal and tear it up and stop all future payments. It's a disgrace.
Now listen to how pathetic this response is.
It's total rubbish, not just his figures, but also his assertion.
Look at David Lammy.
Look, our
He's
closest
fuming.
ally that's taken the closest look at the deal that we have negotiated sees this as the way that we can secure the joint operations, the control of this base. We can jointly guarantee it through this deal for the next century and beyond. And in terms of the cost, look, we've gone over the cost. It's less than 0.2% of the defence budget. For this we get the security of being able to continue operating an intelligence and defence base, doing activities and operations that we simply couldn't do anywhere else. This is a good investment for Britain. Britain is safer today because of the deal that we've struck.
He's making the same argument that Richard Tice just explained is stupid. He's making the same argument of Keir Starmer, which is that we are keeping the country safe because we've now got access to this military base. You already had access to this military base, you moron. We shouldn't be paying for the right to use it. And Henry Bolton, he put out a video sending a message to David Lammy and Keir Starmer about what is going to happen but when they go ahead with this deal is now signed. Let's take a listen to this.
If you go ahead with this, this is your Iraq war moment. Tony Blair, with his mendacious justification for going to a war with Iraq, never, ever recovered, and nor will you. The British people will never forgive you if you sign this deal.
That's a pretty shocking thing to say, that this will be your Iraq war moment. This will be as devastating to Keir Starmer and David Lammy's reputation as Tony Blair's mistake with Iraq. That is quite something. That is how serious this mistake of Keir Starmer and David Lammy is.
Labour will never, never be re-elected as long as you two individuals are involved with that party if you go ahead with this deal, having provided absolutely no credible or convincing argument as to why you're doing it and why you are paying what is believed to be around £9 billion to Mauritius for the privilege of handing them sovereignty of these islands. You will never, ever be forgiven. You will go down in history for this, no matter what else your government does or does not do. This will mark your term in office. And as I say, you will not be forgiven.
There we go. Henry Bolton saying that Keir Starmer and David Lammy will not be forgiven, and this will be their Iraq war moment. What do you think in the comments below? Do you think it is as serious as that? Now, Keir Starmer keeps mentioning, and you saw it mentioned in the comments there in response to Richard Tice, that the cost of this deal, because it's trickled over, 99 years or however long the payments, it won't cost us that much a year. So in that sense, maybe the British public will not feel the pinch. But I think why this is so important is because it shows just how much of an idiot the man is, and how this man cannot be trusted to negotiate for this country. I'm sorry, but what kind of negotiating skills do you call it? Where, okay, let's just say, for example, let's say I own a house. I give that house to you, I just hand it to you, and then I say, can I pay to rent my house back off you? Right? What kind of negotiating skills is that? And also it shows once again that they are completely out of touch with the public and with normal people. And also in this case, the Chagosians. The Chagosians are crying out and saying, we don't want Mauritius ruling us. We don't have anything to do with the Mauritians, okay? You know, David Lammy thinks that he's doing a favour to the Chagosians here, because he thinks that he's decolonizing the island because he's got such a twisted, idiotic view of history. I'm sorry, but it's not like this place was run by Mauritius before and us evil British colonizers came over and took it. I mean, the place, I think it was uninhabited. Then the French, before we took it over in 1814, the French basically took over the place, and then we took over the place from 1814, and we've had it ever since, and there have been a few thousand Chagosians living there. Mauritians never, ever, ever owned the Chagos Islands. Why are we doing this? It just shows that the number of brain cells in that cabinet, okay, I think it's less than one. I'll be honest, less than one brain cell in that cabinet. This makes them look like absolute fools and people that do not listen to anybody aside from the elite bureaucrats in international law, the ICJ, the EU, etc. Those are the only people that they listen to. They are out of touch. Anyway, that is the latest on Chagos. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching this video. Subscribe to Reasoned if you've not already so that you don't miss out on any more updates.